let's have a go at building a Windows 95 computer. I've got this exciting motherboard here, Pentium 2 processor. I think that says 333 megahertz. It says here, Win95 power off, so that's quite exciting. I've got some compact flash cards, which we'll try. I've only got 512 megabyte ones. I don't know if that'll be big enough, so there's two. We might be able to make a C and a D. I've got that adapter we saw previously to join up, but I found another one so we can see if we can get the two cards going at once, but this is in a very annoying form factor because yeah, that's quite wide and it plugs directly onto the motherboard, which it can't go there because there's a capacitor in the way. The only place it could go is there, but then it makes it difficult to plug in the IDE cable because of the cable coming out that side. But if it's joined backwards, which doesn't really matter with this 40 pin cable because it doesn't have the extra sensing things for the high speed modes, that should work. And that means to start off with, we can put the CD-ROM on here and put a drive in here and see if we can get these to come up and format and work. But also I found this thing, which I think we tried in a previous video and couldn't get it to work, and reading up on that, it was something to do with some pins need to be pulled in the right way to get it to go to UDMA mode maybe, but we didn't try it in this, and maybe we didn't even try it in this, so perhaps we'll do that first. And I've got that bag of SD cards and we'll give it a go, although these are all 1 gig, but I suppose that's same as the two 512s. Anyway, let's hook up a system and see if we can get it to do something. So there's some RAM in here. I think it's 264s. Yeah, it looks like it, which that should be enough for Windows 95, do you think? I had another 256 which also does work in here. We powered it up briefly on a live stream to see if it worked, and it does. The plan is we'll use the Windows 98 CD to boot up a DOS, and then we can use utilities in that partition and format the disk, and then I can put that in the computer, my normal computer with a compact flash reader, copy the Windows 95 setup files onto it, and then we can run the setup. I've got a power supply over here, get that connected up, and I've got this 5-volt connector thing to power that compact flash card, and I think that's good. A really nice mouse, a good quality Microsoft mouse, which joins by serial port. Plug that into COM1, presumably. It's got USB on board, that's quite exciting, but we probably can't get that going in Windows 95, as we've previously discovered. Got a keyboard here, well, it's a combination thing with a trackball on it, but we'll stick with the normal mouse, so we'll just plug in the keyboard. Now for graphics card, I found something quite neat. It's a Quadro NVS 280, which is good because it's got the DMS59 connector on it, which allows you to connect awesome breakout things like this to either two DVIs like this one or the VGA version, which, yeah, I don't want that. I want digital outputs because that will give us a nice clear picture that hopefully we can capture. Hopefully. The problem with these old computers is capturing their output, but with this, and it's DVI, and then I've got this thing to HDMI, and hopefully, and that's an AGP card, not something you see every day these days, and luckily I think we can attach that without it banging into that compact flash adapter. Seems to have attached itself alright, and there's a power switch thing there to short out to turn it on. Get a power switch, and I think we're ready to go. Just have to turn on, what will it come up as? As that, maybe? Let's switch this on. See what happens. There we go. So I just went into the BIOS first so that we can see all that noise, because I put in that 4-way CD-ROM drive. So yeah, that's making all that noise there. So we probably don't want that. We want to auto detect them. We got that thing there. Let's see, does that do anything? There's a chance that SD card thing won't work, in which case we'll switch to one of these and try again. It looks like it's not going to happen, doesn't it? So it found nothing. There won't be a primary slave. We should find the CD-ROM. Assuming that is... Yeah, so that's not very good, is it? We could try just putting these to auto mode and just putting the master. I'll just set them to all for now. We've got no floppies. And save and exit the setup, and we'll see what happens. Whether it will pick this SD card drive up or not. Guess we better put in the good Windows 98 CD to boot off of. Oh look, it did find the adapter. Okay, and it found the CD-ROM, so maybe we are in good hands. We'll see, but since that auto detect didn't find it, well, it has come up with 1 gig there. Okay. We might have to change it to the boot sequence to CD-ROM, because that might be disabled from whatever it was previously used for. And boot sequence. Oh, there you go. CD-ROM AC, I suppose that's CD-ROM CA. Sounds like a good boot sequence. Anything else useful in here we can do? Smart, I suppose. Might as well do that. Probably want to have that just for fun. Want to snoop the palette. Quick power on. I suppose because you can choose whether you want PCI or features of the chipset. Power management. PCI setup. Sort of. I suppose we might as well set that. Well, Windows 95 is plug and play, isn't it? Maybe in some way. I guess we should go and disable those drives. So the CD-ROM set up as a slave, which is interesting. Let's see, now it should boot from the CD. Good. And we just want to start the computer with CD-ROM support to start with. Okay. Don't know what all those drives are about. Do the F disk. Did I pick the wrong thing? You think? I thought that when you started Windows 98 disk it gave you some features like... Otherwise we've got to get out a floppy drive and do a Windows 98 startup disk. Maybe that would have been a better choice. I guess the other thing we could do is start the Windows 98 setup and see if that prepares the drive for us. I don't know, let's just do this, see what it does. I'm wondering, is the sound better in this video? I've tweaked all the settings again to see... So we've got a D drive? What's it doing? You go fail. Fail? I don't know what you're supposed to do at this point. I think the drive's bung. Anyway, okay, we'll turn this off. Well, it's wasting time, isn't it? Okay, we'll change to a floppy drive and we'll forget this CD that doesn't work. Although now I've now locked my drive. We'll change to a floppy disk because those just work, don't they? Get rid of that annoying CD drive. Found a floppy drive. It's Panasonic, so hopefully that means it's good. Insert that there, and we need to power it. Power connection, and found some disk. Can't remember. I'm sure we made a startup disk. Was it this? We'll find out. So we'll go back into setup, and now we know we can. That is going to be set to none. And we might as well just set these to none to now so that it stops wasting our time. Floppy drive A is going to be 1.4 megabyte. We need to go and change the boot sequence again now. So we'll make it floppy first. A, C, SCSI. Okay, let's see if this works. This one might not boot because it's just a random disk. I don't know what's on it. But I've got this other one that's called Windows 98 Startup and nope. Okay, we don't need CD-ROM support. Ah, my C drive. Okay, well that's alright because we want to do F-disk anyway and sort it out. Is there a crop on that or is it just not quite detecting it right? Maybe there is a crop on that. Okay, let's go to F-disk and see what happens. There's nothing. Create. create. Okay, so we'll reboot and we'll see if the drive comes up or not. I was playing with this. Oh no, that was something else. Yeah, on the live stream, I think it was, I was trying a SATA to micro SD thing on an old laptop and that just would not work. You could run the fdisk, create the partition, after you reboot, partition's gone. And we tried different SD cards, no effect. Let's see if this works. If it doesn't, then we'll just have to go back to these cards. If we go format, C/S to copy the system. Okay, yes. Wow, look at that. That's encouraging. In that case, we probably should have used the 2 GB SD card I had to make a bigger disk. So we should have a bootable system drive now. So if we eject the floppy drive disk and reboot the system, with luck, that will boot. And if we do have luck, I will then put the compact flash into this adapter, copy system files on. Doesn't look like we have good luck, does it? Seems to be not booting. It seems to have crashed. No response from the numlock key. Okay, we'll try it one more time. If it still crashes, then we'll move to these cards and see if that works. Yeah, seems to be not happy about it. That's disappointing. Okay, let's go to this one and see if that works. We have to put the startup disk back in. I have no idea if there's anything on that disk, but anyway, we're just going to override it, whatever's there. Ah, yeah, we got to set up 2 of them. Should have had that plugged in to the other adapter so that we could do them both at once. I'll get that stuff ready. Can we hot plug that in? Probably not advised. I don't think we even need to enable big disk support, do we? Yeah, look at that. So we go 4. I think it might have some embedded Linux type thing on it. And so we need to go delete non-DOS 1. Yes. Deleted. Now create. Yeah, we want to activate it. Okay, we're going to restart. So we'll just turn off the computer and we'll plug the second one in and we'll see if we can make a disk on that, and then we'll put the Windows setup files on the second disk because I want it to be... I don't think there'll be enough space on this one, I'm not sure about that. I just remember from before trying to set up a system on these size cards, it wasn't really big enough. So hopefully, now we've got to go into the BIOS and turn on the second disk now. Found both of them, that's good. F disk again, so that's all good. Okay, so now we're going to restart, then we're going to format both of those, and then we can do the setup. Okay. Format C. Yeah. Oh, that's a lot slower than it was on that other card. We'll just have to wait for it. Okay, we're done formatting. We'll just make this... The other one's called system, we'll just call this one storage. And now they're both formatted and the first one had the system copied to it. We'll take out the floppy disk and we'll see if it will boot. If it doesn't boot off this, then I think we're stuffed and I don't know what to do after that, but let's hope this boots. Oh, it's got... yeah, it's got some Linuxy thing on it. Maybe then we need to do a... Yeah, we're gonna start again. Start again. So the reason why I wanted to partition and format the drives in this computer is because then in an old enough version that Windows 95 can understand, but since they've been polluted with Linux stuff by the look of it, I think I'm gonna have to put them in my other computer and do a clean on them. Right, I cleaned the disk and formatted again, and I've copied the stuff onto the other one, and we're gonna see if it boots this time. If it boots this time, then we're ready to install Windows 95. Look at that. Great. So now we can go to D drive, go to the Windows 95 folder and go setup, and we should be ready to go. Great. Oh, look at that. The good old school mouse works too. Now let's install Windows 95. This one has a light on it. Shame that one doesn't have a light. Oh well. I'll agree to that. That sounds good to me. Yeah, let's do a custom one. We'll type this in. Still remember it. Analyzing the computer. Yeah. I was thinking we should put this in, this awesome creative sound card, but we'll leave that till later. Suppose we should put a network card in so we can get this thing on the internet. Ah, yeah, that reminded me there's a thing I didn't put on this disk for us to install. What things do we want? I suppose we'll have the accessories, games, wallpapers, character maps, the mouse pointers, sure, games, yeah, sure. Document templates, I don't know what that means. Desktop management, yeah, let's have that stuff. Communications, yeah, might as well, okay, sure. Disk tools, yeah, that's good enough. Facts when you need. Suppose we better put all this stuff on for later. I suppose we'll remove those. We'll put on TCP in case we do get this thing on a network. Client for Microsoft Networks and server for Microsoft Networks. File and printer sharing for Microsoft Networks. Good, that will be enough stuff that we should be able to get a network going if we want to. Yeah, we'll sort that out later. The user interface, can you choose a different one? Or you can make it Windows 3.1 if you want. Okay, yeah, we're not going to do that at this time. So now we're just going to wait for the files to copy, and then we'll be good to go maybe? Windows 95 lets you unlock the potential of your PC. What you do now will be easier and faster. I guess they're comparing this to Windows 11. Because yeah, it will definitely be easier and faster on Windows 95. Definitely easier to use than Windows 11. Okay, I will just let this finish and then get back to you. So before, when I said I was going to clean the disk, what I meant was you put it into your Windows 10 or whatever computer and you go to disk part and then you make sure you select the right disk, then you type clean and it will completely remove everything from the disk so that it's including bootloaders so that it's ready for a new use. So the first part of the setup is done. Hopefully that succeeded. We'll find out in a few seconds when it goes to getting ready to run Windows for the first time. This is very exciting. I'm going to build an awesome system. We've got a really good graphics card in it, and I've managed to find the Windows 95 or Windows 9X drivers for this Quadra NVS 280, which is pretty good. I didn't know they went that old with such a good graphics card, but yeah, hopefully that will install successfully and we can get a nice resolution out of this computer. Good, got a good password. Set up my plug and play hardware. Oh, again, we should have chucked that sound card in while we had the chance. Where are we? Yeah, that seems like a good place. Printers. We don't have any printers. You must restart the computer. Okay. Should we stick... I suppose we can get rid of that floppy drive now. I was thinking, should we stick that sound card in now? Is that a good idea? Okay, let's put this in. Might as well have it at the last slot. Mean-as sound card installed. Fortunately, the brackets bend the board a little bit. I should find something to put under the board. I'll get rid of the floppy. There's good manual under there to hold it so that it doesn't stress the board with those brackets hanging over the edge. Copied some more stuff onto the drive. Let's boot it up. Should be the first time getting into actual Windows now. Actual Windows. Oh, we've got a motherboard resources. Standard floppy disk controller. I guess we've got to go through all this for ages, haven't we? Unknown device. Plug and play monitor. Ah, look at that. Found a sound card. That's exciting. Oh yeah, and it's got the IDE port from the sound card installing. Finalizing. Probably have to restart again. Oh no, we got there. Look at that. Awesome computer. Now if we go to Explorer and got on here, we should have some things to install. Some sort of service pack thing. I suppose we should try that. Let's see what that does. And DirectX, maybe that's too new to go on Windows 95. Then we've got the drivers for the video card. There's also Internet Explorer 4. Get the desktop update, main updates. I suppose we'll put on that. Oh, it's going to do DirectX anyway, is it? There's media player. Is all this stuff embedded in the thing, is it? I don't think we need those. Or that. Okay, let's see what happens. Unless this needed extra files with the install of it, I don't know. Wow, that's neat. We've got the sound installed already. Just go. Remember when it was easy and you could just use the mixer? And this will be a neat one that's got extra bass and treble and things. That's really good. It's probably got heaps of inputs too. The nice mixer that actually works properly. Remember that? Back in the day? And the card has an audio amplifier on it good enough that it can just drive speakers without needing amplifiers in the speakers. Back when things were made properly. Okay, we just have to wait for this stuff to finish doing its thing. And presumably then we'll have to restart the computer again. Alright, we got that update thing installed. We can get rid of this now. Should we do the drivers? What do we do? Oh, it did install some DirectX for us, didn't it? Let's see if we can install the display drivers. Oh, I forgot to turn the camera back on. Yeah, so we're installing the display drivers, and then we might be able to get a better resolution. Okay, we'll wait while the computer restarts. Oh, a weird thing showed up. Oh, look at that. In NVIDIA control panel, was it? Yeah, that's disappointing. But it's in a different resolution now, so that's good, isn't it? We've got some plus stuff. Can we go to the full resolution? Look at that, let's see if this works. Restart your computer to apply those changes. Does that mean that didn't work? Okay, fine. Alright then, 800 by 1280. That's weird, that's like the portrait resolution. Let's try that, that's more normal. Okay, can we get true color? I suppose that's, yeah, like the high definition resolution. If we turn that off and on again, then it might come up in the right form factor or whatever. No, it's just coming up weird looking. I thought this would be able to stretch itself to be not weird looking. It seems to be stuck on 1280 by 1024 by some reason. I wonder why that is. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I suppose we can try it. Okay, well to me at least that looks nice and solid. But yeah, that's a bit concerning that that thing is messed up. Let's install the Internet Explorer update so that things are good, I guess. Internet Explorer 4 includes the desktop update. This is what we want, the desktop update. Now we just have to wait for ages for this stuff to install. I wonder if we can do something else, like put Pentium Pro on at the same time. I don't know how good the multitasking ability is. Might be a bad thing to do. Trying to treat this like a good computer. What's Windows 95? Of course it's good. What do we want? Digital cameras? Nah. Anniversary picture frames? Nah. We don't need that media. I might as well put animation shop, but it depends whether that's even in this installer. See, this is only a small installer, so I don't know. Let's see what happens. It might just error out because this isn't the whole CD, it's just part of it. That's good. Multitasking in Windows 95. Change the background to a nicer color. Whoa, that's good, isn't it? Or we can have the grey. The dark blue is better. Awesome. Multitasking. Can we install more stuff then? Got this old version of Acrobat Reader. I wonder if that will install on this computer. And then we're going to put ProTel on. We'll wait until this other stuff is done before we put ProTel on. The Net Optimizer. I don't know what that means. It's being recomposed. System monitor. Whoa, look at that. So we can see how we're doing kernel processor usage. I guess we're stressing the computer as much as possible. It looks like the CPU is on full. I remember using this system monitor thing ages ago. I think you can add more stuff like memory manager, allocated memory. Wow, we've got quite a bit of memory Really? Windows 95 using more than 100 megabytes of memory? That's a bit Windows 95 like, since you can run this on 4 megabytes. The layers palette. Yeah, I think this is before you could dock palettes. Yeah, that's as much as you get in Windows 95, unfortunately. All the key features are still there though. It's still a really good system. PaintShop Pro. And we'll just close that and that will remember its settings. So whatever that's doing is doing something. Are there any other interesting graphs we can put on here? Oh, how many virtual machines you've got running? Maybe we'll put the reads and the file system right. Now we've got an awesome task manager thing going. Okay, we'll have to just wait and see what this is doing, that recomposing thing. Oh. Huh. Really? Huh. So all that was a waste of time. I suppose we've ready to run this as well. Windows 95, 4, build 1111, and Pentium 2, MMX, 333, 128 MB RAM. Page files not very used, that's good. DirectX 8. Display is all awesome. Should we click that? Maybe not yet. Got a mean-ass sound blaster. Yeah, I wanted to test that, but I need to get... I've got a cord here going to some speakers, but I need to find a power cord before I can plug in the speakers. Perhaps I'll do that. I didn't hear any sound play. Oh, is that the music playing, is it? Yeah, so I guess the sound card's got the same... I guess the sound card has the same problem it had before, where it just makes crackly things and not actually make any type of music. Alright, we'll just wait for this stuff to finish. Presumably that Adobe Reader is going to fail again. I did want to have that there for a reason, making some other videos, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I might have to find a different version. So let's go and look in this place. See Windows Cache Adobe Reader. Adobe Reader. I wonder if we can just run the setup. Presumably if we push OK it will delete it. Oh no, look at that. It says it requires Internet Explorer 5 or greater, and we're trying to install 4. Oh, was that stuck there the whole time? Okay, so that could have been done ages ago. Okay, so that's not going to work then, is it? Setup must close programs. Okay. Setup was unable to close the programs. Okay, I suppose we have to close them ourselves. And then I think there's a part that takes a really long time while it configures this stuff. Okay, the computer crashed trying to do that close programs thing, so I had to turn it off. Then I had to do a scan disk and it found some error. I don't know what it was, but anyway, it then booted up and it's finished. Internet Explorer finished its stuff. Still got that annoying NVIDIA error. Yeah, I think we're ready to do stuff. We've now got this awesome stuff going on. A channel guide. Okay, we've got active channels. Oh, look at that. Weird, isn't it? You can look at these things. Guess you have to be on the internet to do this. Comics. So now we got good things like the quick launch. Now we got the toolbar. What is it there? Standard buttons. Folder options. Classic style. Web style. Classic style. Based on my choice. Yeah, we might as well do that. The settings, no, we want it to be good, we want that. Don't want to hide that, of course. Show all files, obviously. Yeah, that's good. Things are all nice. View by type. Nice computer. I guess that's whatever was wrong in the scan disk. That's dodgy, isn't it? So let's install Protel 99. That's what we actually are doing here. Because I want to... If we can get this running... then do some PCB tutorial videos. But now I've got to go and find a serial number for this. An official serial number. Okay, we'll carry on. We're going to do a custom installation. Although probably we're going to install all of the stuff anyway because that's what we feel like doing. What? There's not enough space? Really? That doesn't make sense. Is it really... We've really used up all that space. Okay. What what used up all the space? I suppose we can get rid of some things. And how much space these things in it. Maybe Pentium Pro takes up a lot of space then. Wondering if there's heaps of themes or something somewhere that's taking up space. Okay, so we've deleted some random stuff. Does that make enough space? Got 100 megabytes. How much do we need? Is it 200 megabytes needed? What if we installed it to D drive? Okay, that's got 4 megabytes available. Okay, so we've proven that those don't work. And we've already got DirectX installed. We've done that. So if we delete all of this, I wanted to hold down Shift to permanently delete that stuff. And then we'll see if there's enough space to install it on D drive. There might not be. Oh, there's just enough. Okay, let's just change that. Oh, maybe we can just make that D. That's a shame. I didn't think that Windows and Internet Explorer and whatever would take up so much space on the drive. Meanwhile, the computer that... So we'll just wait for ProTel to install, and then we've got to install the service pack. And then I think we're going to be done on this video, because it's really just about setting up a computer. Oh, really? We've got to restart? That's weird. Guess that must be a Windows 95 thing, because you don't have to restart when installing it in newer versions of Windows. Okay, we've got an annoying thing that keeps starting up. Now we install the ProTel service pack. Oh no. How do we make that look like normal? I thought we told it to not do that thing to the drives. Yeah, get it back to normal so that we can use the computer properly. Now, we've got to install the service pack. Problem is, it probably can't find the installation because we're not using the default location. Okay, it did find it. Good. So it's pretty easy, it just replaces a whole bunch of files with newer versions. Is not a valid... alright then? What? Really? We can't have the service pack installed? Sure, this has worked before on my computer. I don't know. Yeah, that's a shame. The one thing that we were trying to do in this video has failed, which was get ProTel installed on the computer. Let's see if it works anyway. If it works enough, then we might be able to just carry on as is. Seems like it does. Ugly as fonts that it has by default. You gotta change that to something that doesn't look disgusting. ProTel really likes ugly fonts. There you go, look at that. Better. Except you got to do that for all object types because the way the global thing works in ProTel is not so flexible as it is in Altium. See, that will fix those. Changing the document type. Anyway, what about the PCB? Will that load? Oh no, I guess it got corrupted by that partial upgrade that we did to it. What about the library? No. Alright then, maybe I have to reinstall it. Just want to see if we can get the PCB opened. Nope. Alright then. Yeah, I'll have to do something about that. Alright, there you go. That's Windows 95, sort of, and not ProTel, annoyingly, which is what we wanted to do. Maybe we should remove it and start again. Remove everything, and then we'll just see if we can start again from scratch. And maybe not install enough stuff that it can install in the system directory. Maybe that's important. Yeah, we'll just delete all of the stuff. Maybe we should try uninstalling some other things first. Microsoft New Outlook Express. Not very many things installed in the first place. Music controls. I don't know what used up all the space. Maybe it's Pentium Pro, but then that wasn't even that big. Let's just remove it anyway. After uninstalling some things, so there was enough room on C drive, I then installed ProTel 99 on C rather than D, and now the Service Pack 6 does install successfully, so I had to leave out heaps of the features of ProTel 99 to fit it on C drive, and then manually go and delete libraries that I didn't need because I still wanted some libraries. Let's see now, does it work? Probably still won't work, but let's find out. Okay, we'll have a look at a schematic PCB. Ah yes, look at that. Got the PCB working. So we can continue after all. Well, there you go. Seems to work pretty well. It's a pretty ugly PCB there. Wonder if the 3D viewer works. Did I install that? Maybe not. Nope. Oh, you need some other stuff. Oh, was it going to do it anyway? Oh, look at that. 3D viewer in Windows 95. I think there's a way of panning, but can't remember. It says right click and drag to pan, which is the normal thing. But I don't know if there's a tilt. I thought there was a tilt. Yeah, there you go. PCB 3D view. A short extension video. For some reason the double click's no good. Okay. Maybe the mouse settings we need to configure. Mouse. I've actually got one of these mice on it now. Yeah, I think it's just maybe slower would be better for me. Still pretty fast, isn't it? Oh, maybe it doesn't do anything until you click apply. Okay, maybe it wrecks it. Yeah, Protel can get a bit finicky about things. Anyway, we've got the computer working with Protel. I think that means we can continue to the next stage. So we did succeed after all. We just really needed a bigger compact flash card so we could have done it all on one drive, which would have made things easier, but yeah, unfortunately I don't have any spare. Anyway, there we go, that's Windows 95 with Protel installed on it. Finally. Look at this. Hardcore awesome mouse. So good. And it's designed for Windows 95, which is quite good, because that is a superb operating system. So we've got some mint in-box mice here. There's some that have never been used, which is quite exciting, so I'm saving those for when my ones that I am using wear out. And there's also the adapters so you can plug them into a serial port rather than the PS2. But it didn't come with the disc, but just before the stream started I downloaded what should be the disc that would normally be included in this, and we'll see if we can install it on Windows 95, this computer, because yeah, that's on my computer right now, but there's another one here which is connected to the Windows 95 computer. So we've got Windows 95 here, and we're going to have a look at installing the mouse driver on it, which should be on the storage drive here, and IntelliMouse 2.2. Let's see what this says, or does. IntelliPoint. Now is a good time to read the installation section of your printed documentation. Okay. Good. Microsoft hardware. It's probably going to run out of disk space. We have to restart to finish installing the mouse, okay? And it does that, which is weird. I don't know what that's all about. It started doing that once I installed the graphics card drivers. Okay, now we have productivity tips. Show tips at Windows startup. I don't know about that. Oh, and it's an always on top thing. That's useful. I was thinking, can we go to a folder that's long enough? Oh, look at that! The wheel works! This scroll wheel on the mouse. That's exciting. That's not something you see every day in Windows 95. Except this is one that has a bad scroll wheel. That's the problem with these mouse. They're perfect in every regard other than the wheel goes bad quickly and yeah, it jumps around. Usually in the up direction. You see that? It's stuttering in the up direction. But it's generally okay in the down direction. Yeah, there you go. Install the software and now the wheel works. I guess it's also put something in the control panel place. Settings, control panel. Oh yeah, that's there, but I think it doesn't work. Even though the display driver installed, there's something wrong with it because does that. I tried installing it again just in case, but anyway, under mouse has it added something extra? Oh yes, look at that. You can turn on an odometer. Really? So it measures your total distance that you've moused or scrolled or something? Really? Okay. 5 feet. Or do you think it's distance that you've moved the mouse? An odometer. No, it must be. You can see how far you've moved your mouse. That's amazing. Why doesn't new Windows have things like that? Exciting things. The orientation. Wheel. Turn on the wheel. Turn on the wheel button. Oh yeah. Or you can make it double click. Or you can make it start Windows Explorer. Really? Let's try that. So if you push the wheel, it starts Windows Explorer. Oh, that's good, isn't it? It's especially good because there's no taskbar grouping, so you can actually get to the one you want. Major issue with Windows 11, they make it so you can't get to the window you want. You're forced to use your computer like one of those old people that only do one thing at a time and then close it and go back to the desktop and start another thing. Anyway, that's probably not a very useful thing to have. Double click might be useful. You can make it run the start menu, so when you click, the start menu opens. That's convenient. I suppose that's something you'd do if you had this taskbar auto hidden, because yeah, that's quite a silly thing to do. Need to see it. Oh, so you can change the name of the mouse. Oh, that's changing the driver. Okay. Well, that was meaning you could give it a friendly name, like my favorite good mouse. Universal scrolling. I wonder what that does. You can click that, and then you click on the thing, and it will tell you what it is. To scroll, auto-scroll, or pan within an application that does not normally work with the wheel or wheel button. That's interesting. Well, let's see then, because Protel99, which is the whole reason I built this computer, so we could do some PCB stuff, doesn't support a mouse wheel. It's too old for that. So let's see if that auto wheel thing does it. I haven't put any of my designs on here. It's just got these default example designs, which aren't particularly exciting, and their circuit boards are pretty ugly, which is quite offensive to me. See, look at that mess. So does that mean you can zoom in? Oh, I see. So that it means it scrolls up and down. Oh, and that when you click the wheel, it does that weird auto pan thing. I suppose that's useful. Normally in this in Protel, to pan, you right click and drag. That's the normal way of doing it. And to zoom in and out, you use page up and page down on the keyboard. So what you could do is go unroute all, and then start again. Let's do all of the tracking of the circuit board. It's got these place track. One thing you have to do is go into the preferences and change the cursor type to large, so that when you can tell where it's going to go and line things up. And then you just click on a net. It starts placing a track. If you want to configure it, push tab. That's 8th hour track, so that's pretty good. And then, because we've got to cross that to the bottom layer to join it on there, you push star, and it puts in a via according to your via settings. 25 thou by 15 thou. Guess that's okay. We really want to go through the bottom though. Oh, it doesn't have auto connection. There you go, look, we've made one connection. got auto pans. When you go to the edge, it comes down a bit. Is this exciting or extremely boring? Anyway, and drawing lines like this is what I do all day at my job. Except we don't use Protel 99 anymore most of the time. So I spent 10 years or so using Protel 99, and then 5, 6, whatever years doing the same sort of thing in Altium, which is the software that replaced Protel some time ago. But we still have heaps of designs in Protel at work that are slowly being migrated. See, that's a tricky one there. All those swap over. So you have to come up with a scheme where you untangle it. I wonder how they did it originally before we unrouted this board. The default via is way too huge. I can't remember what those settings were. 20,000 and 18. No, it wasn't that. 15 and 30 maybe. Oh yeah, that looks pretty close. And then when you click it onto the track, it does pick up the net name from it, which is good. You see that's gone green because that's a violation of the rules. That gap there is too close. So you can drag it back. Becomes spoilt with Altium because it has a lot of tricks for dragging and repositioning tracks automatically for you. So coming back to this is interesting. It's probably not straight anyway. There you go, that's making circuit boards. That's how all that kind of stuff is made. By somebody sitting there deciding where everything goes and then putting in all the tracks to join it up. Yes, it's an artistic thing too, because you have ways of defining everything.